everyone, this is Mary from SVG Cuts, and I'm here today with some really fun Easter and spring projects. And I don't know about you, but I'm so excited for spring, more excited than I usually am, because here in the Midwest it has been a really long winter with a lot of snow. I think we have snow left from like before Christmas, so just even thinking about green grass and bunnies and all that stuff is like extra exciting for me, so I hope you're excited too. So we have a really fun little 3D bunny, and one of our fans, Linda, she has been suggesting a bunny for quite a while now, so I'm glad you're excited, Linda. And I've been thinking about how to make a cute bunny for a while, and obviously this style is just like really cutesy, so I wanted the bunny to be really cutesy. So his head lifts off and you can fill it up with some treats, like some little bunnies inside, which is maybe a little twisted to have bunnies inside the bunny, but whatever you put inside is going to be really fun, and it goes together pretty easily. There aren't a whole ton of pieces, and you know, the head's obviously just one piece and the bottom is one piece, and you just, you know, stick his little features on there and he's going to make a really fun gift in and of itself, or you know, to put something inside. So I made mine in white, but I think he would also look cute in any kind of pastel color, like light pink, light blue, light purple, really anything. So that's really fun. And then I also wanted to create some nice treat boxes that you could see through the top of, because there's so many really pretty Easter candies and spring candies, like these foil covered eggs, which I found at the supermarket. So I wanted to make something where you could see through the top and, you know, fill it up with some shredded paper. And whenever I'm at Michael's, I always notice how they have shredded paper in like every single color, so you can find whatever color you want. And then this would also be cute with little candies inside. And once again, I wanted you to be able to see through the top of it so you could see your pretty little treat inside there. So I just happened to have a cookie that I found at the supermarket too that fit perfectly in there, so that's really cute. But any kind of cute little treat is going to be awesome inside. So we also have some cute little cards to go with your boxes, and this one is cute on the front, but the cool part is inside it's a little umbrella. So the little raindrops are cut out of the paper, and it's a lot of fun to put together. Nice and easy. It's just one piece that you kind of decorate the top of, and then you can do this on the front. You can do something totally different on the front. Really cute, and it's going to be like a wow factor that's easy to put together. So finally, we just have a cute little Easter basket card, which just opens up like this. So, you know, you could write something down here, or if you want to make the back panel plain, you could write on the back, but it's just a cute little whimsical thing to go with any of these if you want to make a card to go with your project. So I forgot to bring my paper out here. This paper is by Doodlebug Design, and it's called Springtime. And as you can see, it's just really fun and really colorful, which is what Doodlebug, I think, does best, obviously. They always make really cool, colorful, cutesy paper. So I had a lot of fun working with that, but whatever kind of pastel, colorful, fun paper you have is going to look awesome too. So I've got my pieces cut out to show you how these three-dimensional items go together, so let's get started. So first, let's start off with our bunny, and I have his head separate here, so I'm just going to put together the head first. And the head is made up of 8 almost identical pieces, which are numbered at the top. So your machine will have cut these numbers, which you can see if you look closely, but just for this video I went ahead and darkened them in with a pencil, which you can do if you want, but you don't have to. So I went ahead and creased each of these little teeth here, as well as at the top. And as you can see, piece number 1 and piece number 5 have a little slit, which is where his ears go. So then we also have the pieces for the ears, the top of his head, his little nose, and then these 2 pieces go on the inside to kind of cover up some tabs in there at the end. So we'll get to that in just a minute. So the first thing you want to do is basically, we just want to glue pieces 1 through 8 together, one at a time in order. And to do that, all we're going to do is put glue on all of these tabs here, and as you can see, I'm just doing a nice thin kind of even layer of glue, not this top numbered tab, but just the side tabs. And then I've got piece number 1, so I'm going to grab piece number 2, and you really want this first one to take hold and then just start working your way up the seam one at a time, giving each tab a little bit of a chance to dry. And you can see this bottom one here kind of wants to come undone because it's curving a little bit. So just give it another squeeze if you need to. And you can always add another dot of glue down there at the end if that bottom tab has come undone. And so I'm just working my way up, gluing this whole seam together in a nice gentle curve. So there we go. Now all you want to do is the same exact thing, working your way with all the pieces through piece number 8. So I've got all 8 of my pieces together here, and I'm just closing up this final seam, and I'm going to hold the bottom of this a little bit longer. I've got glue on all the teeth tabs, and I'm just holding it a little bit longer because there's so much tension in this thing that it wants to come apart if the glue doesn't have enough time to dry. So again, I'm just working my way up the seam, doing my best to line it up as nicely as possible to create a nice curve. So the next thing I want to do is I can either put the ears on now or I could put the top of the head on now. It doesn't really matter. So I'm going to go ahead and cover these top tabs here with glue. Trying to get my glue all the way out to the little corners if possible. And then I can grab this little 8-sided shape here and just pop that on the top. And all the sides are equal, so it doesn't matter which way you position it. And once the glue starts to take hold, you can flip it over and push down from the inside. So now we can take a look at our ears. And the ears are made up of 4 pieces that look like this. I already went ahead and put one of them together. And obviously the little inside pink part of the ear goes on the front. So what I want to do is cover the ear with some glue, but not on these teeth at the bottom. And then I want to glue it to the other piece so that I've got 2 ears that look like this. So you can see that clearly this one's going to go on the side. And now's a good time to take a look at your head and see if maybe one side looks better than the other and decide which is going to be the face. And then what we want to do is put this through the slit basically. First we want to bend these apart. And I'm sure you can guess what I'm going to do. I just want to bend them now so that I can easily bend them when they're inside the head. But then I'm going to flatten it back out, push it through the slit, and then open it up and glue it in place. So as you can see, the teeth are all spread apart. Now let's flatten it back up and push it through the slit. And once you finagle all those teeth in there, you can spread them back apart inside the head and then put a nice line of glue down either side of the slit. It's kind of tricky to show. And then grab one of these 2 pieces, doesn't matter which one. I'm going to set my head down for a second and quickly cover this with a nice little layer of glue and place that right on top of all those teeth to help reinforce everything and to kind of cover it up on the inside. Mostly we just want to reinforce them. So as you can see, I'm pushing with 2 fingers and a couple fingers on the inside, and there is our ear. So you can go ahead and do the same thing with the other ear, and then if you want to use brads like I did, you can use something sharp to kind of poke a hole where you want it to be, or you can use something sticky or draw with a marker, and then of course you can put your little nose in place. Now next, for the body of our bunny, I've got the main pieces laid out here, and again they're numbered by your machine, but I went ahead and darkened them in with a pencil. And we've got similar teeth on these pieces, which you want to fold away from you, as well as the bottom tab. And then this top tab, you want to actually fold towards you. So go ahead and do that to all 8 pieces. And then again, just the same principle that we did before, gluing all 8 pieces together by putting glue on these side tabs, including this larger top side tab, and gluing all these together in order 1 through 8. So again, we just want to start at the bottom and make sure that first one takes hold nicely, and then just work your way up, lining up the edge with the other edge and giving it time to dry a little bit as you go until you get to the top. And then go ahead and do that with all 8 pieces. So as you can see, I've got all 8 of my pieces together, and I'm just closing up this final seam here, which is nice and easy and is just like the other seams that we just closed up too. So at this point, you can cover these bottom tabs with glue and put your bottom in place, and all 8 sides are the same, so it doesn't matter how you position it. And then at this point, you can take a look and see which side. You can see that it curves up here as well as here. So one of these sides is going to be the front, one will be the back. So if it matters to you, pick the front. And then you can go ahead and put your little bib in place. It could be like his belly, or it could be like a bib, like a shirt kind of. And then we want to put our 3D bow in place. And obviously you just want to stick his little feet on here like this. And then let's put together this 3D bow. Now if you've got a pencil or something handy, which I don't, if you have a pencil or something smooth like a pen or something, it kind of helps to go ahead and curve these a little bit first. Or if not, that's fine too. And then I want to put just a little drop of glue on these 2 end pieces, and then hang on to that as the glue dries a little bit. And then this little piece wraps around the whole thing with the back side in place. So we just want to put some glue on this piece that wraps around, like a dot of glue here and a dot of glue here. And then you can just wrap that around your bow and hold it as it dries. And then you can go ahead and put that obviously on the top above his little belly panel. And then finally for his arms, they are identical here, and there's a little score line here as well as some score lines here. And all we want to do is just put some glue on the inside at the top and just squeeze that as it dries. And then as you can see, it folds up like this. So all you want to do is put some glue on here and then just glue that right onto the side and hold that as it dries. So as you can see, there's one arm on one side and one arm on the other. This top looks a little bit different. It's not curved like this, but you get the idea. So next, for the inside of our umbrella pop-up card here, our Spring Rain pop-up card, it is a cute little simple umbrella, and it's basically just made up of these 2 pieces. So for the interior of our card, we just want to get these score lines, kind of fold them any which way just to get them started, and then fold our card. And it just takes a little bit of patience and careful finagling a little bit to kind of just gently coax these scored areas in the right direction. And I just am trying to be careful not to fold any areas that aren't supposed to be folded. And once the creases become more defined, you can just fold it finally in half, flat, and there you go. So I think to put this in place, first it's nice if you take your panels and glue those in place. Mine are just plain cardstock, but as you can see, it's kind of fun to use a fun pattern. And then once those are glued in, it's easier if you can just do one half at a time. So you want to cover this in glue, a nice thin even layer, just one half, and then carefully line it up centered, and then of course cover the other half in glue and make sure it's nice and centered. So finally, there's a little shadow. It's called umbrella shadow, and that goes in at the end inside, which just looks kind of cute. So next for our cute little Easter basket card, the main card base is just made up of 4 pieces, and these two are the card front, and the handle is scored right here. So you want to glue these together, and then the back side of the card also has scored handles, so you want to glue these completely together also, being careful to line up these little score lines. And then you just want to put glue above the 2 score lines and put the other piece in place. Well, I suppose on the back side of this, above the score lines, you want to put glue and then carefully put it on the other piece and line up those score lines. That way it folds open nicely. And then you can decorate the inside with your eggs and your cute stuff on the front. And in the extras folder for this project, you can put this back panel on if you want to strengthen up your card. Now next for our egg-shaped box, the lid and the bottom they're almost identical, except obviously the lid has a cutout in the top and it's a little bit shorter. So I'm just going to put together the lid, because if you can do the lid, then you can definitely do the bottom. So I've got my clear acetate cut out, I got this at the scrapbook store, the local scrapbook store. It's just called acetate. It's clear plastic. Or if you want to try, I haven't cut plastic from the office supply store with my machine, actually. I'm not sure if that works. So I think acetate is what I would recommend. Then we've got these 2 pieces which make up the sides. They're the same. And then we've also got these 3 pieces. So the egg-shaped piece that has the widest the widest band here is the lid, the top of the lid, which goes obviously on the top. And then this thinnest piece, it goes at the end, it goes inside to finish everything off, so that's the liner. And then we've also got this piece which has 2 holes in it, and those holes are just there to let you know that that's what you want to grab first. This is one of the first liners. So you're not going to see this piece when your egg lid is finished. So what we want to do first is glue these pieces together. And there are some score lines here and here, but you don't want to fold it. Those are just there to let you know where to place your glue and where to line up the other piece. So we want to cover that in some glue and carefully line up the other piece using those little lines as guidelines. So as a side note, if you don't want to do the clear acetate to see through, you could also use vellum, which is not quite see-through, but it would kind of have a nice effect. And then we just want to close up the loop here by doing the same thing. And these 2 pieces I'm working with right now are identical, so it works the same way on both tabs. So now it doesn't really matter where you line up the top and the bottom. I think it's kind of nice to have the seam at the top and at the bottom, but it doesn't really matter. So the next thing we want to do is fold over all of these triangular shaped tabs, and we want them to have a nice firm fold so that it's a nice straight line going around, and then place that on your work surface. And if you've got some scrap paper or just whatever to protect your table, it's a good thing to put that down because we're going to get some glue underneath. So the next thing you want to do is grab this piece with these two little holes cut out and put a nice line of glue around the edge. Doesn't have to be perfect. And again, this is going to be hidden. But you want the glue to kind of be going pretty close to the edge because we want our project to be glued together nicely. So all we want to do is just put this inside our shape and just carefully work your way around, pushing it down. And it fits perfectly, so it's really nice and easy. And I've got one of my little teeth is sticking out there. So I'm just going over it with my fingernail, kind of just smoothing it in the corner so that we get a nice flat, even project. So the next thing you want to do is cover this whole surface with glue going all the way out to the edge and place the top of your lid in place. Then you can flip it over and get your clear plastic acetate and put a nice little thin line of glue, but you don't want to get too close to the edge because since the acetate is not porous like paper, it's going to push the glue out and not really absorb the glue. So if you would put your glue too close to the edge, it might come, out and you might be able to see it. So put your clear acetate in place and then put glue on the back side of your liner and put your liner in place to cover that up and finish it off. Then you can go ahead and put your band on and any cute decorations you want. And again, the bottom goes together the same exact way, it's just a little bit simpler. Now finally, for our butterfly shaped box, I'm just going to put the lid together because the lid again is exactly the same, almost exactly the same as the bottom, just the bottom is simpler and a little taller. So if you can put the lid together, you're all set for the bottom too. So the lid is made up of 3 butterfly shapes as well as 3 strips that make up the sides, which are numbered, and your machine will have cut a number into the ends of each of these pieces, which I went ahead and darkened in with pencil for this video. So what we want to do is grab piece number 1 and glue piece number 2 to it. And those little lines are there for guidelines to glue it together, and you do want to fold it towards you. As well as in the middle of piece number 3, there's a score line, which you want to fold like this. And I'm just folding it so we can see exactly where to put our glue. And then grab piece number 3 and glue that to piece number 2. And you can be even more careful with your glue than I am being right now. And then finally piece number 3 here, which has a little hole cut out of it because that's going to go up at the top of our butterfly. And that just makes it a little easier to make sure that you've got everything lined up the right way. And again, this gets folded like this. So now we can go ahead and fold all of these teeth over. And I apparently did not put enough glue on this. So go ahead and fold all of your teeth, your triangular shaped tabs, over sharply so there's a nice straight line going around the top of all these sides. And then the rest of this is pretty much a snap Once all these are folded over, we can lay it down. And you want to put it down on some kind of protective, scrap paper or something, because we're going to get a little bit of glue all over the place. So as you can see, my little circle up here designates the top of my butterfly. And then we've got these 3 pieces. So this is the face, the top of the lid, which we'll set aside for now. And then this one with the holes in it is what we want next, as well as this piece here goes in at the end. So I've got this piece here with these holes cut out, and the holes are going to be hidden in your final project, but they're just there to let you know that this is what you want to be working with right now with this shape. So again, I've got my little circle up here, so I know that's the top of my butterfly. And what I want to do is put a dot of glue on the 3 tabs on either side of this fold. So you can see there's glue on these 3 tabs and these 3 tabs. And then we want to take this piece and we want to get that lined up with that crease. So as you can see, it's lined up nicely. And then I just want to do the same thing with the bottom. So you can see there's a fold here, and I want to put glue on the 3 tabs on either side of that fold. Just a little dot of glue. And then I want to get that corner lined up nicely. And get that into place. So you can see it's coming together, and then we just want to do the same thing on both sides also. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and get that corner into the other corner, get those tabs glued into place, and for the final corner, again, 3 dots of glue on each side, and glued into place. So those 4 corners are anchoring everything, and now all we need to do is lift up all these tabs, and we just want to get a nice line of glue on the inside here. And it doesn't have to be perfect, because this is all going to be hidden at the end. And then put this face down on your work surface and use your fingernail to push down on the inside. So you can see. Now you just want to do the same thing on the other 3 curved areas, and then you can just cover this whole thing with glue and put the top of your lid into place. And then you can flip it over and take your clear acetate or your vellum, which might be a little hard to see, but you just want to glue that into place. And again, when you put your glue on, you don't want to go too close to the edge with the clear acetate, because if you get too close to the edge, it could show through from the other side if the glue kind of comes out. So your top is also in place, and then finally you just want to put your final liner in place by gluing that into place. Then you can put the body of your butterfly in place and any kind of decorations you want. And you might have noticed that there are score lines in all these pieces going all the way through. So if for some reason you don't need to fold it, but if you would like to, I just noticed that this shape has a tendency to kind of come up. It has a tendency to be shaped like this because of its shape. So if yours is doing that, you can just gently fold it a little bit with those score lines helping you. And there's your butterfly. So there you have it, really fun projects for Easter and spring. I hope you're super excited. I know I am. So if you make any of these, you'll definitely have to take a picture and share with us on our Facebook wall, or put it on Instagram and hashtag us, or do @SVG Cuts so we can see it. or put it on your blog and pin it on Pinterest so we can see it and repin it and share it too. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time, and happy crafting.
Learn more by visiting www.svgcuts.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and watch all of our crafty videos on YouTube. It's a world of crafty content with you in the middle. svgcuts.com, inspiring you to live creatively and beautifully.